Hello, I'm Mike Wilson, CEO and founder of Ditto, and I'm excited to be here today with Richard Crook, CEO and founder of LAB577, and he's here to tell us all about the brand new digital shared ledger, DASL. Firstly, some notes on Ditto. Founded in 2008, we are a marketing and business development practice focused on technology, with offices in London and in Dublin. And I'm also the founder of the Right Tech Forum, a not-for-profit industry-wide community and resource dedicated to regulation and technology innovation. So, hello, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing well, Mike.
Well, Richard, exciting times. First of all, could you just please introduce yourself, your background, and what LAB577 is all about?
Certainly. So LAB577 is a software company co-authoring solutions for financial institutions using emerging technology. Digital Asset Shared Ledger is our first product. I'm Richard Crook, former head of the Emerging Tech Labs over at Royal Bank of Scotland. I left back in September last year, and we've been on the normal roller coaster of running a fintech since then.
So you've gone on the journey from big corporate now through to dynamic startup technology.
I would say that I have exchanged a large dose of frustration in working in a large corporate, which I think most people working in a corporate would recognise, for a equal amount of angst being a founder and startup owner, and any startup owner would I probably share that memory or feeling too.
The ability to work 7 days a week.
Or wishing there was an 8th.
Oh, fantastic. So tell us more about the recently joined a partnership with BCB. Just elaborate on this and what that partnership's all about.
So BCB is a global cryptocurrency broker providing prime brokerage to institutions, and they're blazing the trail, bringing crypto into Corda, and they're using LAB577's digital asset shared ledger to provide that seamless integration for them, where they need to be providing fiat banking and access to the crypto ledgers, the Bitcoins and the Ethereums and the Ripples of the world, and they chose ourselves to partner with to build the digital asset shared ledger to blaze that trail onto the Corda network.
Wow, and could you just explain to us a little bit about the selection process that BCB went through, and just explain what the product, I love the acronym DASL. So why would they dazzle by DASL, and explain what your product DASL is?
So they're a broker that is growing up, much like many of the institutions inside the what I would describe as the crypto world or crypto land, who are recognizing that the rules aren't changing, that you are going to be under a regulation, like it or not, and they are and have taken a license from the FCA. They're a licensed and regulated entity, and they needed to quickly move and upgrade their own technology stack into something that would work. And Ollie over at BCB, their CEO, is quite visionary, and he spotted that actually he's not just going to build his stack to be a proprietary capability. He spotted the opportunity to get onto the Corda network first and be there and set up his shop in that new network, and gives him an opportunity not only to mitigate the conduct risk and the regulatory risk and improve his control risks, but also as a way of increasing his sales and opening up new markets by getting onto the Corda network.
And you touched on the Corda network there. Why did you build your product on that network, Rich? What was the attraction?
So for us, we could have built the digital asset shared ledger on a number of networks or a number of ledgers. Could use many different technologies, but the digital asset shared ledger allows financial institutions to mitigate the business risk involved in handling digital assets, issuance, settlement, exchange, management. And for us, we needed a finance grade ledger, and that's what Corda gives us. If we go onto the Corda network, open and public network, but with known legal entities. You can't be anonymous like Bitcoin or Ripple or Ethereum, and that mitigates some of the AML, the anti-money laundering, and the counter-terrorism funding risks, and gets the regulated entities in a better position to operate on a blockchain. There's no volatile cryptocurrency. I'm not having to use ETH or Bitcoin or Ripple or XRP to access the network or for fees. I can move to human readable names. So those kind of Bitcoin addresses that you've been using for the last decade are going to cause more fraud and error, and therefore getting to human readable names minimizes fraud and error. And then last but not least, by far the biggest, is that the network is not a shared everything network. Your transactions are private, and that's very important when we talk about finance. Most commercial minded organizations don't want to share their clients' transactions with the rest of the world. And that pretty much sums up why we picked Corda Network.
Well, I've got just so penultimate question really is, first of all, it's a micro question, and then the macro question. So the micro question: you've gone live with DASL now. What happens next?
Well, LAB577 is already assisting clients like BCB to onboard to the Corda Network. Digital Asset Shared Ledger provides the institutions the ability to reimagine how value is moved and managed, creating new markets for previously illiquid assets and reducing risk and cost using those digital assets. It's an open solution that gives those institutions control, automation, and connectivity. And for us, by far the biggest piece of the news today is that BCB have gone live and have now connected in, they've created interoperability with the Ethereum network and allowed ETH and ERC20 tokens to come onto or flow onto the Corda network. So where many projects over in the Ethereum space have raised their funds using ICOs or STOs on Ethereum, they're now choosing to build on Corda. And with the advent of BCB coming onto the Corda network and with DASL in place, you can now raise and build on Corda. And I think that ongoing convergence of the crypto world with the blockchain domain is what we're seeing today coming to reality.
And I think that was nicely actually touches on the macro question about, we see so much about the maturity and the development of this space. You know, you just talked about the convergence, you just talked about the industrialization and actually kind of creating core market infrastructure, I guess, in this space built around the Corda network. What's the key takeaway that you've seen in the journey over the last couple of years in this space, that are the key findings of what's going to happen over the next 12 months?
I think we artificially separated crypto or Bitcoin from blockchain. We wanted to do that back in 2015 so that we could start the conversation about using blockchain in the enterprise. And we've now seen that start to move at a rapid pace forward. These are big enterprise projects. They will take years. Things like trade finance with the Marco Polo project, TradeIX being a market leader in there. You are seeing those projects move forward at pace. What we are now seeing is the convergence or reconvergence of crypto with blockchain, and that is where it becomes really exciting, and that's where we stand. Having brought BCB now onto the Corda network, LAB577 stands ready to support other clients who are standing in that intersect, who are trying to do issuance of digital assets, tokenization, if you will, creating exchanges for new digital asset markets, shorten their settlement cycles through peer-to-peer settlement, and then lastly, but not least, just the offer of digital asset brokerage, custody and asset, those clients out there who are trying to provide fully segregated client accounts for their digital assets, we stand ready to help.
I love it. Reconvergence. I absolutely love it. Well, exciting times. Well, thank you, Richard. And exciting. There's DASL live. BCB's press release is fabulous. So, folks, if you want to learn more about LAB577, there is an industry article that accompanies this interview. If you just look at the screen there right now, head over to lab577.io. Also, if you'd like to take control of your digital assets, you want to have a chat with Richard and any of the team, please contact start at lab577.io. As we would say, thank you very much, Richard and all the team at LAB577.
Thank you, Mike.